Right. 4 months since my last upload, me reading shit out from the No Sleep subreddit to big up my voice acting portfolio, nice one, Arthur. And a legendary 7 months since my last actual hobby-related upload, which means my Imperial night must have been sat unpainted and waiting to be finished, but nah, not really the case. So I did actually record. I had every intention of editing and uploading it right. The only problem is, when you do a master's degree at university, I'm not saying this to big myself up by the way, but you can very swiftly get buried under the mountain of shit that gets flung at you on a day-to-day. Honestly, right, I must have stared at C++ code for so long, I felt like I was one of them gadgets from the Matrix who gets phoned by Neo asking for lots of nuns or something, you know. But as it stands, getting sidetracked easily and getting sidetracked really doesn't help it, especially when half of the footage is lost in the ether between your phone and Google Drive. Yeah, I record these on my phone, by the way. And the other bits are salvaged from there. So here we are, Fabricator Imperial Night Part 3. Fuck my life, man. So as you can see, I've used Mechanicus Standard Grey, and that's sort of the basis for all the armour. Yeah, and I am just base coating that little scroll thingy at the start on the chest. I mean, I was doing some lead belcher at the start when I was rambling about being Neo and nuns and shit, but so as you can see, I've got a bit of red on the eyes there, and I'm just organising some of the armour parts, and yeah, I'm just organising. I used a bit of Mornfang brown on the like chest script, and I'm going to go over that with a lighter colour to sort of make it more parchmenty, if you know what I mean. I don't know what I'm doing in this part. Oh, here we go. So I'm getting the shield. Now, for the fluff I've built up about this night, the Vanguard of Zelia. Now, the planet of Zelia is this desert type world where it's a night world, but it's desert, and the Sabbathial house rules. And this is the night of the son of the High King. And then in some of the fluff, he actually becomes the High King. But anyway, so his insignia is just a red X, and that's what really sort of makes him stand out from everything else. Now here I'm making the scroll parts scrolly, as you can. English, Alvin, cracking. And yeah, it's simply just going through the armour. Now I've got some Nuln Oil. I'm going to give everything a good wash because, yeah, I have actually gone over all the metallic parts with lead belcher. I actually bought a massive, you know the bolt shell bottles of paint. Well, the bolt shell washes, where it's like, you got the normal sized wash pots. Then you get the larger one, and I call them the bolt shells because it was some at my regular GW that I go into like at lunchtimes at uni and whatever when I have free time. One of the old managers referred to them as bolt shells because they look, well, self-explanatory, innit? So I bought one of those. I bought some new lead belcher because I'm awful with paint maintenance. Like, I'm so disorganised. As if you needed more evidence for that. So I'm just washing everything right now. Yeah, looks like it. Yeah, looks pretty good. I remember putting up a little edited photo of this on my Instagram, and I'll put that at the end. I'll also make sure to leave my social medias in the description because I am back, motherfuckers. Honestly, the starting process for painting, I actually followed the Warhammer TV's guide for building and painting a knight, which was build it in 3 sub-assemblies, as you know from the first 2 parts, and then you just completely cover it in lead belcher. That's why I bought a new pot of lead belcher. And right here is possibly my biggest mistake, which was putting an ungodly amount of wash on the tilting plate, or the like the shoulder shield type thing, but regardless. And then painting the whole thing in lead belcher, and then painting the armour assemblies separately. and a little, and it actually it turned out not that bad. I mean, it's been sat on my dresser, and it's got a bit of dust on it, and a lot of my models have dust on it because I don't store them properly because I haven't got any fucking space. But the amount of Nuln Oil I went through is actually quite disproportionate. I mean, the bolt shell is still pretty full, and I use it quite regularly, so... And looking by how much I apply to the fucking armor plates, and keep in mind, I washed the entire fucking, like, skeleton of the model in Nuln Oil after I painted it in lead belcher, so that should be a lot more empty than it is. I'm not quite sure how that's worked out, but I'm just, this is actually quite close to the finish. I mean, obviously when I record this, it gets played back, I think 300 times normal speed, so 3 times speed. Now we have it. It looks like I'm getting the finishing touches up, and looking at the shoulder pads now, it's I could have easily gone over the washed bits with some Mechanicum standard grey or another colour just to make it pop a bit more, and then to put the Zelia cross on it, and that would have been nice. But as it stands, I was lazy. I think when I recorded this, I was pretty deep into coursework, and this was like me escaping. And like I said at the start, C++. This course, I'm almost at the end of it, but honestly, it's been a fantastic ride. Honestly, I'm not gonna get all mushy about like all the friends I've made. I mean, I've met some cracking people there, but I'll save that for another video, because I remember recording a video about like tips for when people go to university. It was just before like the academic year started, and I've got some interesting things to look back on that video and tell myself. But right now, I also covered the battle cannon. I've washed the battle cannon, the little sort of like blast shield or whatever it is, like the gun shield. I've painted that, and that was me checking the time to see how far I'd gone. So the recording's finished, like the video's over. That's all the footage I could find. I'm gonna, as I'm talking now, you should be seeing some shots of the Vanguard of Zelia as it stands today, day of recording, 25th of April 2018. What a time to be alive. My name is Olthan. It's good to be back. I'll see y'all later.